Hello, guys. I'm here with Ariel Palitz. She is the executive director of New York City's Office of Nightlife. So I'm super excited to have you here. Thank you so much and welcome to Pop Style TV.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate the invitation.
So a lot of people also call you a mayor of nightlife, and you're the first ever senior executive director of New York City's Office of Nightlife. Have you ever thought you would get such title? And do you think that your role is overdue?
Well, it would be very hard to imagine ever being in a role like this because, again, like you said, it didn't even exist before. So it wasn't even something really to be able to dream about as I was running my own nightclub in the East Village for 10 years. But you know, I do think it's overdue, but it's also right on time to have an Office of Nightlife in New York. As you may know, it's part of a global movement. There's over 50 offices of nightlife around the world. And I think it was important to see how this new movement and this attention to life at night was evolving around the world before New York realized that this was something essential and important for New York too.
Fantastic. So what do you love most about our city? And what makes our nightlife unique and for everyone to want to come and party here?
Well, you know, I'm a native New Yorker, born and raised, so I'm always a little biased. But I think without a doubt, whether you're a native New Yorker or a New Yorker by choice, it's the energy. You know, it's the vibe, the pace, the sense of urgency that we have about everything. And whether it be our own careers, any problems to solve, the idea of going out, appreciating life, there is just a sense of energy and urgency like tomorrow may never come. And I think it translates into our nightlife, of course. And what really sets us apart from every other city in the world is our diversity. Right? That you can walk into a room in New York and really feel and see all of humanity in one room. And I really think New York nightlife is the great equalizer. And it's why people come here to feel like they belong.
Do you remember your first night out?
I have some recollection of that. Like I said, I grew up in New York, so I have a funny joke where, you know, I say, you go from spin the bottle to bottle service, you know, when you grow up in New York, but you really grow up in a sense, knowing that there's a nightlife, knowing that this is a part of New York and wanting to be involved in it as soon as possible. As a younger New York kid, we used to just go and sort of gather and sit out on the steps of the Metropolitan Museum and make our own nightlife outdoors until we started being able to get into the venues and starting off in the local bars. And then ultimately, I guess my first memorable nightlife experience was actually going out with Boy George in his limousine in a Fiorucci dress and with his boyfriend Marilyn and going to, I think, the Red Zone or MK's. And I was like freaking out. I don't know how I wound up. I was with my friend Marco. And that was like the beauty of New York City nightlife, and still is you just never know where you're going to wind up and who you're going to wind up with.
Oh, New York.
Yeah.
Totally. So New York was kind of a little bit affected by the pandemic and especially nightlife and entertainment. What are some of the plans city has to revive the scene of our city?
Well, I mean, let's be honest, it hit us more than a little, you know, and especially the nightlife industry and hospitality. It was a direct hit to the essence of the purpose of our industry, which is to gather, social gathering. And this pandemic and this virus is spread in social gathering. So we've been doing so much since day one. We've done over 10 town halls, making sure everyone understands the guidance and the regulations. We have tons of meetings listening to what people need and making sure that the administration and where the decisions are being made, that their needs and concerns and even their great ideas are being heard.
So as the warmer weather is ahead of us, what do you think is going to be popular when it comes to outdoor performances? There is Music Month, I believe you're working on. Also, hopefully tourists will somewhat come back with vaccination moving forward pretty quickly. Could you share a little bit about that?
Well, I mean, you said it. It's really all about the outdoors until it's safe to go back inside. And thankfully, we have a beautiful city with amazing parks and gorgeous streets and beautiful boroughs. And the city has focused all of its attention, or a lot of its attention, on creating open restaurants, open streets, open culture, open storefronts. And now the city has really streamlined all of the permitting and the prices to make sure that it's equitable, accessible, and easy to get people out in the streets with dancing and music and yoga. And I think it's going to be a magical summer. And I'm really looking forward to everything that is possible.
Me too. I think that these outdoor terraces make New York so even more lively and pretty, and kind of makes you feel like you're in some Riviera somewhere. So I really love.
And it was permanent. The mayor has made an announcement that outdoor dining will be a permanent fixture. Right now, we're still in an emergency mode, but the city is currently working on creating a permanent cafe culture in New York City.
I love it. So what are your thoughts? Are roaring 20s ahead of us, or people will go for like a more casual kind of fun?
I think people are extremely eager to reconnect and to breathe and to dance and to celebrate. And I think what's going to allow for that freedom that people need in order to return is a sense of safety and security, and to be able to walk into a space and to feel like they're going to, like they can let go. And this is really what we've been working on for a long time, not only in regards to the pandemic, but it's also in regards to race relations and making sure that we have more inclusion at our doors, in our venues, making sure that we're addressing the issues around consent and sexual chemistry, but being with respect in the nightclubs, understanding the use of narcotics and drugs, and seeing it not as criminal behavior, but somewhere where we can look out for each other to make sure that there is safety, even with mental health. So I think we really have an opportunity as we reemerge to create a real safe space in nightlife, because when people feel safe is when they feel free.
So I thought we could have a little bit of fun and talk about some of your favorite things and preferences. When you go out, do you prefer, and given it's not pandemic, we're back to normal,
Right.
Do you prefer bottle service or just having a simple casual drink?
I mean, it depends on the night. You know, I think what's amazing about New York is that you can have it all. And there might be one night I want a casual drink in a small vibe bar. And there's sometimes I would love to have a private table with my girlfriends and order bottle service. It depends on my mood, I guess, and on the day.
And do you have a favorite cocktail, and do you know how to make it?
I always sort of gravitate towards a Manhattan, of course. And I don't know if I could make a great one, but I can make one.
And so how do you spot a New Yorker abroad?
I think we have a sixth sense when we see another New Yorker. First of all, they're usually wearing black or just one color. And they're probably impatiently waiting for something to happen. And it's just something you just know.
Last question. Which city is the greatest city in the world?
I think everyone around the world knows the answer to that question.
Yes, we do. New York City it is. In whichever time. It's
no matter in good times and bad, you know, there's just something about this city that just is so meaningful and is so important. And I think we really are an example about how a city can get through hard times and come out stronger and better for it.
Thank you so much for talking to Pop Style TV.
Thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate it. See you on the dance floor.
Yes, see you on the dance floor.